बाद फिर आप या
Okay. 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 I'll start. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, friends, CMS. I am NVB Chalapati Rao, okay, who is a senior vice president of Indian Society of Management Accountants, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. I am pleased to welcome you to the webinar on SAP B1 overview and financial accounting. This is a part of the web series on SAP Business B1. We will be arranging every month one webinar on SAP B1. Okay, so that it will benefit all the finance professionals as well as CMS. Okay, the objective of this program is to make CMS and the finance professionals aware of SAP Business One, which is a complete set of accounting and financial tools that provides clear visibility into the business and greater control over financial operations. This will also help the business to move forward and compete effectively in the digital age. This webinar, I'm sure, will enrich your knowledge and enable you to take better financial decisions with more insight. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that by participating in this webinar, we are in the right place and at the right time. Together, let's accelerate and exchange the ideas and scale up good practices. Okay, on behalf of ISMA, Indian Society of Management Accountants, I wish you all a very successful webinar. Okay, let me introduce you to our eminent speaker today. We are really blessed that we have such a high person with very high profile. We are really blessed. His name is Mr. Dilip Saad, who is a professor of Indiana University, USA. Mr. Dilip is the president of Kabir Consulting, Kabir India, and Kabir subsidiaries in Nigeria, Bangladesh, Philippines, and Kenya. He was an associate partner of IBM in USA. He worked as senior director with Accenture and Capgemini in New York, USA. He has been working on SAP across the globe since 1998. Mr. Dilip is on the advisory board of Small Business Development Center, SBDC, SBA entity in New Jersey, USA. He is also a chairman of the IT panel of MSME approved by Government of India. He has been a visiting faculty to various universities across the globe. He has written several papers on supply chain management topics and provided business process improvement consulting to more than 400 clients across the globe. Mr. Dilip taught more than 5,000 students in SAP and IT. He holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. So I'll be the moderator of today's show, today's webinar, and the total timings is approximately 1.5 hours, which will be followed by the presentation from Mr. Dilip. Then question and answers will be handled by me. Then followed by presentation of certificate of recognition by Dr. Amrinder Ji, who is the president of ISMA. Okay, and finally, vote of thanks and concluding remarks by Pankaj Ji, who is the founder president of Indian Society of Management Accountants and chief mentor of Chain Ventures. So I'll not take much of your time. Now I would invite Mr. Dilip to give his presentation. Mr. Dilip, over to you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your invitation, and also thank you for providing us a detailed introduction. Thank you.
Dilip ji, sorry, I think one link Rao Saab has missed. I think Dr. Mendra, would you like to say a few words to start this program?
Yes.
Dilip ji, just give a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, no problem. No problem.
So, basically, before we start this presentation, before Mr. Dilip will start touch on the topic, just I would like to brief about the ISMA. ISMA is a society of leading strategic management accounting professionals of India, And basically, the objective of ISMA to integrate accounting expertise with advanced management skills to achieve business success. And basically, there are so many people associated with ISMA. And in fact, in the last few years, we organize many webinars and conferences, and we also publish research papers and all. So this is all whole objective of ISMAS. We are basically to develop the management accounting profession, and we all know, right? CMS are capable of assuming, strategic leadership and management roles in a broader range of business function, and they are adding value to an organization and enhancing its competitiveness and maximizing, shareholders' value. So that's why the small brief of Indian Society of Management Accountants. So, and basically the vision what we are carrying, ISMA is carrying, to make management accounting profession the most respected and valued profession of the world. So this is all about the ISMA. Thank you, Pankaj. Hello. I over to you, Chatpatji.
Yeah, Dilip, now you can please carry on. Dilip ji?
Yeah,
you please.
definitely. Thank you very much. And let me also share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
I think my screen is visible, I suppose. Okay. So first of all, thank you again, everyone. So how I'm going to structure my discussion today for the benefit of audience and all the participants. So first couple of minutes, I'm going to give in a quick overview of what is SAP B1. So like couple of minutes, I will talk about that SAP B1. Then about 10 minutes and so, I will talk about in finance perspective, what is SAP Business One Finances, what kind of modules, what kind of functions, what kind of processes, what kind of reporting, what kind of key performance indicators are included into it. And then I will do SAP B1 demo. So, and then in the last, we will have obviously 15 minutes for question and answer. So anything related to SAP Business One, people can ask any questions. So next 1 hour and so, that is how I will structure. Most of the time I will go through in the system, so you can get an idea that what SAP B1 system look like and what SAP B1 is. Now, one more thing which I would like to highlight here is, which has been just to highlight, this is a series of sessions, because finance is a very broad topic. Finance has a many aspects of it. So it has a financial accounting, it has a cost accounting, it has a asset accounting, it has a budget accounting, it has a bank accounting. So today focus would be primarily into the financial accounting, the core processes and functions. I have also shared a small presentation deck to our team members. So if you want to have this PDF, which I'm going to cover, you can have this PDF also. So primarily today, we will talk about accounting from the sales, for purchase, for inventory, because these three functions are very, very important. So that is the agenda, and that is how I will be going through. Now, let me go through a bit of what is SAP Business One? And because a lot of people always have this question, what is SAP B1? What does it do? What does it include? So if you look at this pyramid, on the top of this pyramid is large enterprises. And then we have a lot of small and medium businesses. If you see that, and of course, all of you are the finance people are well aware In India, if you make a list of top 2000 company or globally for that matter, 87% of them use SAP. All these Pepsis and Coca-Colas and Reliance, Disco, Telco, Mahindra, and even government company. But that is SAP S/4HANA. What we're going to discuss today is SAP Business One, that is intended for small medium businesses. SAP Business One is one of the fastest growing ERP in the world in terms of customer acquisition. We ourselves acquire a lot of customers on a regular basis. So our focus going to be on SAP Business One, which SAP constructed in 2004 and 2005. Now, why SAP B1 and what does it include? So if you see this slide very carefully, so SAP B1 can be run on premises. SAP B1 can run on cloud. SAP B1 has an inbuilt analytics and also have a mobile app. So what is SAP B1? So let's have a quick discussion about that. So SAP B1 is a bundle of following 4 products. What is included into it? It includes ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, which is going to be our focus. It includes CRM. It also includes inbuilt mobile app, and it also includes inbuilt reporting platform. Because at the end of the day, reporting, KPI, analytics is important. Now, coming back to what are the different modules in SAP Business One. So SAP Business One actually overall has a 16 module, which is financial accounting, which is our focus for today. It also management and administration. It has operations and purchasing and operations. It also has sales and services. It has a project management, resource management, production and MRP. There are 4 modules related to production. Then inventory and distribution. Now, if you also see, there is analytics, and which is we will be discussing today also, that what kind of analytics we are talking about and what are those aspects of analytics. And analytics has a multi dimensions. So some of those dimensions of analytics and reporting, I will try to cover up today. Then I mentioned mobile technology. Okay. So mobile technology is basically where SAP B1 come inbuilt with the mobile app. And then we have a big data. If you see on the right-hand side, there is also machine learning, artificial intelligence. That platform is also come into the picture. Now, coming back to SAP, now you're looking at, I'm jumping directly into the solution. So at this moment, you're looking at SAP Business One 10.0 version on HANA platform. It comes on 2 platforms, HANA platform and SQL Pro. So this is on the HANA platform, and I will go through some of those functions, some of those modules, some of those analytics and reportings and capabilities. Now, out of the box, if you look at it in SAP Business One, what are the 16 modules which I discussed about? So it is administration, finance, CRM, opportunities, sales, purchase, business partners, banking, inventory, resources, production, MRP, service, HR, project management, report, and then there is an Excel report and interactive analysis. Now, when we look at the organization, and I was seeing the agenda which has been set it up, and if you're looking for the complete business process model to any company, there are following aspects to it. So in any enterprise application, SAP B1, SAP S/4HANA, or whatever, shall have following. It basically should include our transactions, business processes. So we talked about 60 modules: sales, purchase, finance, inventory, asset accounting, cost accounting, back accounting. These are all different transactions, different business processes, which need to be there in SAP or any ERP for that. That is the one aspect of enterprise resource planning or enterprise application, which we will touch base and talk about. The second part is the reporting. Now, in the reporting, because reporting often most important, but often ignored. In the reporting, there are two aspects of reporting. One is called OLTP, which is online transaction processing, different day-to-day reports, how many customer balance, what is my vendor balance, what is my outstanding payment, what is my vendor balances, what is my GL balances. So as accounting professional, finance professional, we need to have our transaction processing. So that is the one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is analytics. So this is more strategic in our case. So like say, for example, what is my profitability? What is my revenue growth? What is my total margin? What is my standard production cost? What are the different variables on the production cost if I'm including? So we should have a both. And then third, and the most important, is process control. If you devise a system, and if that system do not have process control, then the story is not completed. So when I look at all our customers, I tell them, okay, look at processes, fine, good, but look beyond. So in the process control, for example, how are we going to do approval? What is my approval process? Can we have alerts? Can I have my workflow? Can I have a digital communication mechanism? So when we look at any enterprise application, we must look at all the three aspects of it, which basically means looking at what is my processes, what is my different aspect of reporting. And when we're looking at the reporting, we look at the transaction process, we look at analytics. And this is more strategic in the nature. And this is more done by, this is more transactional or tactical. So when we look at it, we have a both aspect when we look into the system, whether we want this to have a profit. This is basically mean for our staff, and this is normally mean for our senior management. So there is a different aspect of different reports. So we're looking at now coming back to SAP. So when I log into SAP, then first and most important is the administration in terms of some of the important thing which we need to set it up. And among the first thing is authorization. So when we're looking for the process control, and that is the authorization. So SAP B1 allow you to authorization. So like in finance, for example, authorization is very important. Who can do what? And then email setting and all that. Then another aspect is approval. We must, SAP B1 allow you to do approvals on various aspects, on various documents. various sales document, purchase document, inventory document, payment document, agreements, and all that. So which basically means we can have, number one, digital approval. You can always do manual, means you can print out purchase order or print out general ledger, print out any document, and somebody can physically sign that. Of course, you can print and you can always do. But I would like to do a digital signature. So SAP B1 allows us to do digital signature. So that is where, now there are two things, digital approval and also digital signature. So both you can do for all these different documents, because that's very important aspect. Another thing which I would like to connect, I was talking about mobile app, and probably that is where this approval come into the picture. So this is SAP B1 mobile app. So like say, if I'm a finance controller, if I'm a finance manager, then how can I do the approval? So you can do approval, another part of the control. Now, another thing which is important is alert management. So we can do different kind of alerts and workflow. Now I'm coming to finance. Now, before I go to finance, what does the SAP B1 finance actually consist of? So SAP B1 finance consists of following. So finance include following accounting. What does it include? So first and foremost, it includes financial accounting. It includes cost accounting. It includes asset accounting. It includes budget accounting. And then it includes bank accounting. So these are the overall 5 different type of accounting which are there. Today's agenda is primarily to focus upon financial accounting. Now coming back to financial accounting. So here in the finance accounting, the first and foremost, so these are some of the functions. Now, one more thing which I have to mention, because specifically the people who join from India or some other places. So the taxation, because obviously that is important aspect. So SAP B1 is localized for many countries. We ourselves has implemented SAP in different countries, right? And because like India, for example, so the taxation in India, now we have a GST and then GST 1 and 2 and 3 and before GST we had the entire complete different taxation system which included C form, D form, excise duty, mod weight and all that. And now the taxation regime from 2017 has completely changed and it is now GST. So that basically means that all our customers can use SAP B1 to do it in all GST label reporting which is required, for example, in India. If you are in other country, so based upon that country, SAP call it country patches. So when you implement SAP in India, obviously you cannot do any business without GST. It's a statutory requirement, is a legal requirement. Therefore, SAP B1 come with GST patches. So all our customers in India, so we have more than 300 customers in India, all of them use SAP B1 to do their GST reporting. And if we are in some other country, then SAP provide patches for that local country. Like we have a customer in Saudi Arabia. Now they don't have a GST, they have a different taxation. We have a customer in Nigeria, they have a different taxation. So that is where this come into the picture. So all those different legal requirements are supported. So what are the different functions which we can see I will go through each of those functions one by one. So first and foremost, chart of account. Obviously, we have to have a chart of account. So we can create chart of account. You can have your assets, your liability, your equity, and cost of goods sold, expenses, and many other buckets. And we can create any bucket as we want. Between that, you can have 10 labels. So in the chart of account, you can define 10 labels. So if you see here, these are different accounts: the inventory account, cost account, and different. So these are my expense account, and then office expenses, packaging, and office supply, whatever. You can, and on the right hand side, if you see here, if you look at very carefully, then each of this account can also be linked to a cost accounting. We'll talk about that in the next session, that how financial accounting is linked to the cost accounting. If you see here, you can also link to a project. So in SAP, you can do cost accounting on the basis of cost centers, on the basis of profit center, on the basis of projects. Because a lot of companies do the projects and they want to do project accounting, and they want to do, so you can even do P&L, profit and loss, by a project. So for this, so we have a customer, like they do a lot of these solar power panel projects. And they want to know what is my P&L, not for a company, but what is my P&L for project. And then there is a branch accounting and profit loss and all those different functions you can do as a part of SAP. So, and we will be talking about that in the subsequent sessions. Edit chart of account. So any point of time, you can always change the chart of account we created. We want to add new account and we want to activate that account. Hello. Then account code generator. Account code generator basically means you can generate any, SAP provides you different accounts. So different GL accounts are provided in SAP. But apart from those accounts, if we wanted to create new accounts, then you can create as many accounts as you want. Then there is a journal entry, which is the most basic transaction which you can have in SAP. So if I want to have a journal entry, we can talk about, we will, in SAP, journal entries are done in 2 different ways. And that is the one of the important points for us to understand. So in SAP, journal entries primarily are done in 2 different ways. What are those 2 different ways? So number one, we do that in manually. So we can do a manual general ledger entry. We'll talk about how do we do that. And then there is an auto, and that is the most important part. Auto journal entries. And that auto journal entry is the primary aspect for us to understand today. And that is the goal of SAP B1, to be able to do auto journal entry. And how those auto journal entry happens, let us say in the sales process. How does that happen? How does that happens in the purchase process? And how does this happen in the various inventory process? And that is one thing we would like to understand, that how the during sales order entry, delivery, goods issue, custom invoice. Then in the purchase order, purchase cycles, we'll see sales cycle also. We'll see purchase cycle also. We'll see some inventory transactions also, good receipt, good issues. And then how system do auto this is called rule-based account assignment. Rule-based account assignment. So accounts and GL, general ledger, get automatically created. We don't need to do that. We can always do manual entry. So we're going to focus that what are those rules and how those general entry happens during sales process, purchase process, and inventory process. What we have done is like this accounting for sales and purchasing. This PDF is also there, so you can get that material. So this document is also available to you. So as a reference document that how SAP handles their sales and purchase accounting and inventory accounting. And we have created this a small tutorial. This is small slides. Now coming back to SAP, now we are looking at SAP right now. So, and then general entry, you can do general voucher. Posting templates. Posting template basically means that if I'm doing certain posting on a regular basis, then we can create templates. Template is like a data entry tool. If I'm doing a certain general entry every day, so why I have to keep entering the whole the data? I just create a template and I copy the template. Then there is also posting, recurring posting. Recurring posting is basically being used when I'm doing certain posting on a regular basis, like I'm paying electricity bill every month. I'm paying telephone bill every month, internet bill every month. So in such cases, we can have recurring posting, which SAP allows. Then reverse transactions. So reverse transaction is basically whenever we have any problem, we wanted to do it. Exchange rate differences. In SAP, you can do any transaction in multiple local currency and system currency automatically. I will give an example. So let's say we have a customer in India. Their local currency is Indian rupees, but they also have their subsidiary in Germany, and they also do parallel currency in euro. So you can post all your financial transaction, general entry, general voucher, all financial transaction in multiple currencies parallelly, different conversions and all that. Then coming back to fixed assets, we'll talk about in more detail. So in the fixed asset, you can maintain the whole fixed asset cycle, in which basically you could talk about asset master data, capitalization of asset, capitalization credit memo, retirement of asset, transfer of asset, manual depreciation, auto depreciation, asset revaluation, fiscal year change, and various reports. We will do entire session of the fixed asset, one cycle, separate session. But I'm just showing quickly today that this is the fixed asset. Then reconciliation. Then there is a budgeting. There's whole budgeting, and we will have an entire one session focused only on the budgeting. Then we have a cost accounting. In the cost accounting, you can create different cost objects. What are the cost objects? Cost center, profit center, projects. You can create different dimensions. Dimension basically means if I'm creating my expense for marketing. So expense for marketing, I might have a different dimension, product A, product B, product C, or periodic dimensions. So I can appropriately assign the cost in different buckets. You can create different cost centers. We talk about distribution rule. Distribution, so we can have as many cost centers as we want. So we can talk about that as well. And then we have something called distribution rule. Distribution rule basically that if I have a marketing cost 10,000 rupees, then how I'm distributing this cost to the head 1, head 2, head 3 equally or in certain proportions. So table of cost center, you can do cost center hierarchy. Cost center hierarchy basically means, let's say take an example of a marketing cost center. In the marketing cost center, I have a marketing cost center in Delhi, I have a marketing cost center in Mumbai, I have a cost center in Chennai, and 3 of them is linked to my India cost center. Then India cost center is also have a marketing in Japan, I have a marketing in China, I have a marketing in Singapore, and then Singapore is linked to, then I have a global marketing. So you can create cost center hierarchy. Then we have a different distribution rules, reports, cost accounting summary, budget versus cost accounting. You can compare what is my budget, what is my total expense, accrual types, so different type of accrual, accounting reconciliation, journal entry, different cost element, different financial reports. In the financial report, and before I go to financial report, I would like to go through some of the standard SAP reports and KPIs. Now, all these different reports and KPI which you look at your screen, these are the standard SAP Business One reporting analytics, specifically for the finance person which are in the position of responsibility. These are very, very important. So I will go through all of them. There are so many, I cannot go all. So we just put some 10, 20 different KPI which we can go through. So like, what is my total sales amount? So it's total sales amount. This is for this month. So 6.4 thousand. What is my inventory value? How much inventory we have received this month? 9.9 million. What is my receivable overdue? So my receivable overdue is 11.92 million. It's not a detail. There's a detailed report also. But this is giving a one snapshot that if I'm looking for my customer balances, then I have 11.92 million balance. What is my total sales amount this month? So how much I have purchased this month is 2.85 million. What is my receivable overdue amount up till today is, so this is my receivable and this is my payable. So my payable is 12.2 million. What is my outbound inventory value this much? So how much inventory I have made it outbound, which is issued out. How much is my return? So how much goods has been returned by the customer this month? What is my receivable amount this month? Total and this month. This month is this. What is my gross profit amount gained at this month up till today in the month of July? It is minus in comparison to last year. What is my total payable amount this month? How much we need to pay this month? This is for this month. Net cash flow, inventory turnover last 12 months, it is 0.4%. That basically means my inventory is not moving, is very, very slow moving. What is my top 5 customer by receivable? This is my customer number 1. This is customer 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here on the right hand side is financial process. So rather than going to the menu path, if I want to click on any of them, I can reach to this. I want to go to general entry, I can click on. Same thing on the sales process. So in the sales process, if I want to create a sales order, sales quotation, we'll go through them and we can just click on it and we can click. If I want to create a sales quotation, I can just click on it. I don't need to go to menu path, just easy. What is my total sales return this month? So we got an $800 return this month. That's high, is up. What is my top 5 vendors by payable? So my top 5 customers by receivable, top 5 vendors. Inbound inventory value, how much inventory I have received this month? 4.23 thousand. And these are the different inventory transactions which you can do in SAP, which is good receipt against PO, returns, good receipt, delivery, good return to the supplier, good return to receive from the vendor, goods issue, inventory transfer, inventory counting, inventory posting, item master data, price list, inventory report. These are different inventory functions and transactions. What is my, this is the purchasing process. We will go through that also. We will look at the purchasing process because that is our one of the function. In the purchasing process, we can do purchase request or purchase indent, which is very commonly used by different people. Then we can create a purchase order. So that is another function we can do, which is purchase order. Then we can do good receipt against purchase order, good return, vendor invoice, outgoing payment, vendor purchasing report. Then gross profit margin, what is my best selling item, operating margin, target value for this month, operating margins. Then we have a revenue versus gross profit for last 6 months. So this is in the positive direction, which is good news. I want to see my inventory turnover by item group. So except this one item, every item is dead, not moving. So we can see the overall inventory movement because we care about the finance, because that is our cost, that is our material, that is our asset lying there. They are not moving. Now, aging, receivable, overdue. As a finance person, we care about aging. So aging, receivable, overdue in the 10-day interval. So if I see here, most of 11.918 million is due, which is more than 90 days. We have a problem. This is a total purchase versus good return. So how much we are purchasing, how much we are returning to the vendor. If I want to see the aging overview, so this is an aging overview of receivable. So most of it is due more than 90 days. And this is aging receivable for payable that is also due more than 90 days. So customer is not paying us and we are not paying to our supplier. Now, if I see the inventory turnover, so we have a different warehouses. So we can see inventory turnover by material group, by warehouse. So this warehouse of 01, it has slight better, it is 0.4% turnover. But if I see in the warehouse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that inventory is completely dead. Nothing is moving in those warehouses. And then various total asset values. So what is my total asset value? Target is 20.23 million, or total equity 4.26 million. And we can go through all the different reports and dashboards, gross profit, number of open quotations, open item for deliveries. So this is line, and we can go, all of them. There's so many. If I just go through, it will take itself a lot of time. These are all standard SAP dashboards, KPIs, which are available in SAP B1 on HANA platform. They are all standard. They are not customized. They are all standard, which is provided in SAP. Now, I go back to my presentation. So if I go to this presentation, and I will quickly go through. So if you look at this picture is very powerful. And if you look at this picture, we have a different function: purchasing, logistic, warehouse, production, outbound logistic, marketing, and sales and service. But what is the platform? The platform is financial controlling. At the end of the day, all purchasing, sales, production, warehouse, logistic, good movement, good issue, sales, purchase, delivery has automatic integration with the financial controlling. We buy the material, We sell the material, we do good receipt, we do good issue, we do inventory transfer, all of them. We do production. We issue the component to the production. We receive material from the production. That is why if we see this slide, finance is the platform. Finance is everything which is based upon. Finance is the foundation of organization. That is what this basically means. Now, if you look at it here, and if we see, these are the different processes. So if we see that we have a sales quotation, sales order, we have a delivery, we have AR invoice, we have incoming payment, we have deposit. This is a typical financial sales cycle. Now, in the sales cycle, at the time of delivery, there is a journal entry. At the time of AR invoice, there is a journal entry. At the time of incoming payment from the customer, there is a journal entry. When you're depositing the payment, there is a journal entry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places there is a journal entry. In the quotation sales order, there is no entry. And what are those entries we're going to see in the system? So when we go to AR invoice, so what happens at the time of AR invoice? This is a classical general entry which happen AR invoice, we'll see in system also. So when I'm doing customer invoice, so my customer account get debited, tax account get credited, revenue account get credited. These are standard account entries which happens, and we will see in the system also. Then account balances. This is a classical report for our account balances, in which we have a debit. This is AR invoice, debit, AR invoice, debit, AR invoice, debit, incoming payment, credit, AR invoice, debit, AR invoice, debit, balance 700. Classical entries. Then obviously different account types. We saw in the chart of account, we can have a different account types in which you can have assets, liabilities. So in case of balance sheet account, is asset, liability, and equity and capital. In case P&L, we have revenue and expenses. Those are standard setting. We see anywhere, same thing in SAP. Now, this is what happened at the time of customer invoice. So what will happen? Customer debited, revenue credit. Now, what system does? System use account automatically. Now, let's go back to the sales now. Let me go back to SAP. So let me go to the sales module and see the integration with the finance. So if you go back here in sales quotation, and this is sales quotation. Now here in SAP B1, there is something called relationship map. So we go to relationship. This is the relationship. Now this is an example of end-to-end process which we can have in SAP. So there is sales quotation, quotation number, date, and amount. With this quotation, I have a sales order, number, date, amount. Delivery with the sales order, then we did delivery number, date, amount. With this delivery, we have a customer invoice, AR invoice, number, date, amount. With this AR invoice, you have incoming payment. And then, unfortunately, there is also a situation of customer return as well. So, customer has returned the material to us as well. We have returned some material by the customer. So there's a return request, there's a return request number, date, amount. And then we also given a credit memo to the customer as well. Now, this is a typical sales cycle. Now, in quotation, there is no financial journal entry. At the time of sales order, there is no financial sales entry. If I go to delivery, at the time of delivery, there is a financial posting. Now let us understand that. So if I click on it, if I click on the delivery, okay. So this is a delivery document. In this delivery document, this is my customer, Mexitech. This is the item. This is the quantity. This is the unit price. And $800, 10 pieces, and no discount. And the total value is $800. You see this LC. LC means local currency. You can have multiple other currencies also. So we deliver the product to this customer for $800. And if I go back, and if I see here the journal entry, so this is the journal entry. Now this is an example of journal entry which take place automatically. So here, in this journal entry, my finished good inventory is credited. My cost of goods sold is debited. So if I check sales cycle, so if I go back to the sales cycle, so in the sales cycle, we have a quotation, sales order, we can have a delivery, we can have an invoice, we can have a customer payment. Okay. So now, what is happening at the time of delivery? So at the time of delivery, system is credit my finished good inventory, and then debit cost of goods sold. Standard entry, and that is what we see here. So this is my inventory account, got credited. This is my cost of goods sold account, this got debited. Now, how this account got determined, that we need to investigate, that we need to understand. So why this account and from where this account comes? Now, if you go back to the click on this button, it will take me to chart of account. This is my finished good inventory account. Then there are different accounts. So I have a different type of, you can have a raw material account going to one, work in progress going to another one, finished, semi-finished going to another one, finished going to another one. So you can have different account for different type of materials. This is finished good inventory account. Then we have a cost of goods sold. If I click on that, this is my cost of goods sold. Now, in the cost of goods sold also, we have a different account. Domestic, one bucket. Foreign, another bucket. Service, another bucket. And so on and so forth. So we can have a different bucket for cost of goods sold. And those are the accounts being defined, and that is what we see here. Now, after this delivery, we saw the delivery, then we have AR invoice. So what is there in the AR invoice? So if I go to AR invoice, this is my AR invoice or customer invoice. Now in the customer invoice, this is my customer number, this is my item number, quantity, unit price, and then it is $800. And then if I right click on it, and here we have journal entry. So we want to see what kind of journal entry we see in invoice. That is what we saw here. If you go back here in this document, that is what we saw here. At the time of AR invoice, my customer get debited, revenue get credited. And that is what we saw here. My customer get debited, tax account get credited, revenue get credited. And same thing we will see here. So this is my customer C000. So this account got debited for $8,000. So this customer will pay me $8,000. Then second one is the tax account. So this is my tax account which got credited. And then I have a revenue account which got credited. So what we have here, so in this account, so at the time of customer invoice, we have debit, customer, and then credit, revenue, and then credit, tax account, if there is a tax. Okay. And that is what we see here. So this is my customer. This customer got debited for $8,000. If I want to go back to this customer, it will take me to this customer as well. This is my customer account. And this customer has my balance, account balance. This is the account balance of this customer. And I can check the whole detail of this customer. So this is the whole account balance of this customer. I can see the detail. How much for deliveries? How much for orders? These are the details of each invoice. So for this customer, these are all my invoices. This is the invoice which we just talking about, 1158. In this invoice, this is a posting date, due date. Now look at it here. In this document, my revenue was $8,000. My profit is 4,328. And gross profit on this invoice is 54%, 54.111%. This is the sales analysis report by customer, by each invoice. We can check by each invoice what is the total benefit profit we have. This is the journal entry at the time of invoice. Now, if I go back, if I close this, if I go to incoming payment, so this is the incoming payment. So if you go to incoming payment, now incoming payment, we posted because this customer invoice has paid to us, and we can see the journal entry again. Now what we have here, so the customer account, this is customer C2000, customer name, credited for $8,000. Then we have our account clearing getting debited. So customer got debit, now it got credit. So here we have customer payment. In this we have our customer credit, our customer, and then debit our bank or cash account. So that is what the standard SAP system does. These are all automatic posting which happen. We close this. If you go to returns, if you see return, this is the credit memo. And if you see general entry at the time of credit memo, it reverses. So my customer has been credited. It was debited at the time of credit memo, customer get credited. Now, this is the posting of account. Now, how does this account posting happens? So that is what we will try to understand. So in SAP, there is a process called GL account determination. The GL account determination is the process of determining the GL account automatically during sales, purchase, different financial posting or inventory posting. There are two ways to do this. One is the traditional way. Traditional way basically means on the item master, you can assign a GL. And then there is an advanced GL account determination. There are two different methods of doing GL account determination. So how those different GLs got determined. So if we go back and if we close this GL account and then we go to administration. In the administration, and if you go to setup, in the setup, we have a financial setup, and one of them, which we have here, is called account determination. Now, in the account determination, you can determine the account for different functions. So here we have a account for sales, for purchase, general account determination, for inventory, for resource, for work in progress. So we can define these accounts for, now these accounts we can also define on different parameters. There is something here called advanced rules. Okay. In the advanced rule, we can define these. If you see this, this is called advanced GL account determination rule. These advanced GL account determination rule happens during sales, during purchasing, general posting of general ledger, during inventory account, resources, which is during production or during work in progress. Now here, this is an example of, the advanced posting. So if you go to advanced posting, here we have a code. We can do a ship to country based upon item group from date. So we can see that, okay, if this is the item, this is GL account. This is a country, this is the GL account. And different other codification you can also define. So this is called advanced GL account determination, where we can assign the GL account for all these different regions. Now, I want to go back to the last to relook at the GL account determination. In the configuration, I would like to go through the purchase cycle quickly. So we look at the sales cycle, and then we can go through the questions and all that. So purchase cycle, can I start with the purchase request? So now let's look at the purchase cycle. So in the purchase cycle, this is what is there in the purchase cycle. This is a typical purchasing cycle in SAP Business One. So the first is purchase request or purchase intent. Then with the purchase request and purchase intent, we can have a purchase quotation. This is the quotation number, date, and amount. Then with this purchase quotation, we can create a purchase order number, date, and amount. Then against this purchase order, there is a good receipt. Good receipt against PO. There's a good receipt number, date, and amount. Then we have an AP invoice. AP means vendor invoice. So there's AR invoice, there's an AP invoice. And if you see here, this is AP invoice, green color, it is paid. We had paid to the supplier. This is outgoing payment. So this is outgoing payment, 274. There is a return here also. There is a return on customer side and there is a return on the vendor side. So the return request, and then there is a credit memo process with the supplier. So this is a typical purchasing cycle. In purchase request, there is no journal entry. Purchase quotation, there is no journal entry. Purchase order, there is no journal entry. But at the time of good receipt against PO, if we click on it, there is a general entry. So when we receive the material, this is a general, this is a Guru Sitang SPO, this is the supplier, name of the supplier, this is the item, 10 pieces, per unit is a $350. So the total amount of the value of the 3,500 US dollars or whatever currency, and then we have a general entry. Now here in the general entry, we have inventory account debited. So at the time of delivery, inventory account was credited. At the time of good receipt, inventory account is debited. And then there is a GIR, IR clearing account, which get credited. So if we see what is the, so now we're going to sales cycle. Now we go to purchase cycle. In the purchase cycle, we have a purchase request or purchase intent, purchase quotation. Then with the quotation, there is a purchase order. Then there is Guru Sitange's purchase order. Then there is a vendor invoice. And then there is a vendor payment. In case of PR, purchase requisition, no financial entry. So there is no financial entry. At the time of quotation, no financial entry. At the time of PO, no financial entry. Same thing here as well. At the time of sales quotation, no financial entry. At the time of sales order, no financial entry. Okay. So at the time of quotation, no financial entry. At the time of sales order, no financial entry. Delivery, yes. Invoice, yes. Customer payment. Same thing in purchase cycle. At the time of PR, no financial entry, no financial entry, no financial entry. At the time of good receipt, we have financial entry. What is the financial entry? And that is happening automatically, which is basically means at the time of good receipt, debit, inventory account, and credit. Clearing account. At the time of vendor invoice, and we'll see this as well. Credit, vendor account, and then debit. Clearing. And at the time of vendor payment, we have a debit, vendor account, and credit. Credit our bank or cash. These are the entries. Now, if I come back here, this was at the time of delivery. So we did a good receipt. Now, after good receipt and SPO, we go to customer invoice, ER invoice. So we go to ER invoice. So this is AP invoice or vendor invoice. And at the time of vendor invoice or AP invoice, And then here we have a general entry. In the general entry, my vendor account is credited, my tax account is debited, clearing account debited. And this happen automatically. 90% of general entry in SAP B1 will happen automatically. If I go to outgoing payment, same thing in outgoing payment. If I go to general entry, so my vendor is debited, cash, bank account credited. So this is a typical sales and purchasing cycle and how SAP integrate with the finance automatically. So that's what basically I was planning to cover today. So thank you for time, and if you have questions, I can handle the questions.
Yeah, Dilipji, thanks a lot for your presentation. It was really very informative, engaging, educative, and fulfilling also. You have covered, the entire sales and purchase cycle. Now, our members have few questions, which I have it. I would request you, please, if you can answer those questions.
Yeah, please.
Sir, one thing we want to know, like, I am working as a CFO in West Africa, and West Africa, a lot of countries like Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast. These people, they are the French-speaking countries, and they were earlier colonies of France. Okay, now is SAP Business One available in multiple languages?
Yes.
And in countries, I want to know specifically, is it if any companies interested in implementing SAP francophone countries? So can they have the services of SAP Business One?
Yes, SAP support 31 languages. It include, of course, English, French, Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, Mandarin, Chinese, the version of Chinese, Japanese. So there are 31 business languages which are supported. No Indian language is supported.
Oh, India means, but sir, I just wanted to know, is SAP Business One successful in Indian scenario? Because some of my friends with whom I was discussing when I had shared this presentation, especially one of my friends, he commented that in India, maybe in some parts, it is not that much successful. I don't know why he said that. Is it so?
We have more than 200 customers, and all of them are using SAP successfully.
Okay.
It is not a product.
So now,
it's actually very good product.
Okay. Okay. Now, one more question. One of our member was asking, what types of user licenses are available in SAP Business One?
So, in SAP, let me go to that question. So this is my slide. So there are two categories of license in SAP B1. The first is professional users. So professional user is like administrator who has access to all 16 modules. Then there is a limited user, and limited user has a 3 subcategories: finance user, CRM, logistic. So finance is for all the finance, accounting, banking people in the company. CRM user is for the CRM, sales, and all that in purchase. Logistic include a lot of functions like inventory, production, planning, MRP. So these are the categories of the licenses.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Ganguly is on line. Pankajji, I think Mr. Debajit Ganguly, he wanted to ask one question.
Please, please.
Hello. So even Mr. Praveen Jha is there. He's asking how we can make it. Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, Jyoti Ganguly this side.
Yes, hi.
So I would
Yeah.
get the person person from the audience who would like to ask question can raise their hand, so we can take one by one.
Yes, please.
Please raise your hands so we can take one by one. Rao sir,
Yes.
now you can take one by one, and whomsoever is interested can raise the hand and take the question.
Yeah. Devjyoti Ganguly this side. I am having a question
Yep,
specific
please.
presenter. Thank you, sir, for presenting such a wonderful session. This is very much informative, as well as this shows a new era of accounting because we all are using SAP, but mostly SAP ERP or SAP S4HANA. But SAP B1 is also coming up with a big prospect for a near future.
Hello, Devajyoti. Sorry, I am interrupting you. Please introduce yourself so that we can understand your background.
Okay, sure. So myself, Devjyoti Ganguly, I am a ACMA member. Okay, I am working in a pharmaceutical company in finance controlling domain as an assistant manager role. So I am having around 8 years of work experience, and I am using SAP for around 7-8 years or so. Okay, I have worked in most of the modules of SAP from AP, AR, GL, Subledger, and there are A accounting, asset accounting, as well as the controlling domain, the project accounting part for the planning and budgeting piece as well. So I have means I am having a good amount of user experience, but I want to shift my career from user to a consultant role where I can get more detailed understanding of SAP functional side. So SAP V1 is also help us for the small companies or medium scale companies. But my question to sir, like when we are working in a multinational company where there are n number of people are working, there are different region are involved, and in different geographical region there are different companies, their subsidiaries as well. So for those companies, SAP B1 will be helpful or not? This is my first question. And my second question, if I want to be a SAP B1 consultant, then what would be my target customers? Because from a consultant point of view, I need to know who are my clients, so whom I should target and how I can, if I want to be a consultant on my own and I want to do consulting business in my future perspective, I am telling. So in that case, who will be my prospective customers and clients as well? So this is my two questions. So I think my questions are, audible what I have said.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Let me try answer that. So let me go back to my initial slide, which I mentioned first also. So like if you take an example of any country, India, US, or any country for that matter. So all the large companies, private and government, let's take an example of India. So if you make a list of top 2000 company, private and government in India, they are already using SAP, which was like, all private sector, big manufacturing and Pepsi's and Coca-Cola's and Reliance and Tisco and Telco, Mahindra, even government companies like Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum and Dawa and all that. So that is on this top of the pyramid called large enterprise. So then SAP recognize then what to go do next. So all large company in India, in any sector, government and private, they're already using SAP. Then the companies which fall into the mid market, so like a $200 turnover company, 100 crore company, 300 crore company, 50 crore company. So there is a huge amount of the companies which is in a 50 crore, 100 crore, 150 crore, 200 crore bracket. Now, if I'm a 100 crore company, I cannot use S4HANA because S4HANA gonna cost me 10 crores or 15 crores. So if I'm a 100 crore company, if I want a proper ERP, a good ERP, I can't use S4HANA because it's gonna cost me 10 crores. So a lot of these companies were using accounting packages like a Tally and other things, or local ERP and all. That is where SAP B1 was introduced. That is why SAP B1 is the fastest growing ERP in SAP, because there are a lot many companies which is in 50 crore, 100 crore, 200 crore, 250 crore, 300 crore bracket, and they need a proper ERP. So SAP B1 fit into that mid-market, and there are lot many numbers of company in that market. If there is a one Pepsi or one Coca-Cola, if there is a one Mahindra, if there is one Hero Group, okay, Hero is large, but then there are so many tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I've just taken an example. There are dozens and dozens of such company, and they need SAP as well. So SAP B1 actually is targeted for those mid-market companies. Now, because SAP B1 implementation is very costly. SAP implementation take a lot of time. Now, mid-market company, they need a software which can be used by mid-market, which is affordable. First thing is affordable. Mid-market company cannot spend 2 crores or 5 crores or 10 crores. Secondly, it should be flexible. Because one of the big problems with the SAP was it's pretty complex. They can't have that complex product in a mid-market company. And it should be easily implementable. So keeping in the view of those parameters, cost, easy to implement, easy to use, flexible, SAP B1 was introduced, and it has a huge, huge market, because if you see statistically, many company fall into 50 crore to 300 crore, 500 crore bucket, then there are not many Tiscos and Telcos and Mahindras and Hero Groups, and that company is limited. And they already have there. That is already saturated.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, I think there are two, three questions are there. Mr. Isaac Tamay, he wants to speak. Pankaj, Mr. Isaac.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Mr. Isaac.
All right, thank you very much. I am speaking from Ghana.
Your brief introduction.
I would like to know whether this application can be used for NGO work. And if yes, how can the people in Ghana get access to this application? Thank you.
Okay, so first and foremost, our company, Kabir, is a partner in many countries. So we are partner. We are partner in Nigeria, in US, in India, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Gambia, so several countries. Now, another question was related to NGO. So we have a very wide variety of companies. We have a company, and that is called Bharat Soka Gagai. If you see this number here, Bharat Soka Gagai. This is a Japanese NGO which works in India, Delhi. And we have implemented SAP there in their finance, in their purchase, in their inventory, and their project systems. So we can talk offline. We can see your specific requirements is concerned, and we can see how it can be implemented in your case. But yes, we have done already with NGO, and the name of the company is Bharat Soka Gagai, is a Japanese NGO working in Delhi.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Now we have Mr. Chandan. Sir, he is asking, is there any demo version for practice?
See, there is a demo version, but the problem with that is without without going through a proper learning and training, it becomes problematic. So what we have done is, I have created a lot of materials. So I will just, let me see if I can share that with the people. So I have a, okay. So if you go to YouTube, on YouTube, if you put my name called Dilip Sir. So here, there is a channel, and on that channel, I have more than, I think, 100 videos and so on, different topics. So anybody wanted to do the learning and do the self-learning, they can go to this channel. Name of channel is Dilip Saad, and then they can self-learn on different videos. They can do different topics, different other elements. And then I have a second channel also, and that channel is focused only on SAP B1. So there is a two channel, one for S/4HANA, one for B1. So this is a channel in the name of Kabir Consulting. If somebody want to learn SAP B1 training, is a around 50-hour video, and all these 33 videos for about 50-hour training is freely available to anybody, everybody. So if you go back here, these are all, and I put it by class 1, class 2, class 3, class 8, and there are total of about 33 videos, and which covers all these different classes. And if somebody want to learn SAP B1 for free, I have entire videos curated. We will provide training material also. People can self-learn as much they wanted to learn. It's free.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sir, Mr. Praveen Jha from Dubai, he wanted to know how can we get the full functional knowledge of SAP Business One?
By training. So you can, we can train you, you can self-train. That's what I was saying. This is like a SAP B1 10.0. I have all these classes. See these videos? So each are the videos. I have around 60-hour free SAP B1 training course available. People can self-learn by themselves, going through, and I put a class by class. If you see here, class 1, class 2, class 3, and then these are 33 videos, about 50-hour lecture covering the entire SAP B1 course.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Mr. Ganguly, again, I think he wants to, no, I have one doubt actually. Okay.
Sure.
Mr. Ganguly.
So Raoji, we have also one participant, Mr. Varun. He has one question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Ganguly. Mr. Ganguly.
Hello. Yeah. So I am having another question for sir. Hello.
Yeah. Please.
So my question is like, in SAP S/4HANA, there are few customizations are available. Like if I want customized report, we can customize that accordingly. If we customize T codes, we can customize it accordingly. Do I have similar features in SAP B1?
Of course. You have to have, because everybody will have certain requirement and certain things which everybody will require. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And do we have the, as you say, there will be SAP cost center, profit center reporting will also be available in SAP B1, right?
There are 5 different type of accounting, which I mentioned, and those 5 accounting is financial accounting, cost accounting, asset accounting, budget accounting, and bank accounting. So a total of 5 type of accounting, which is supported.
Okay. But sir, like in the production companies, there are different CO elements for the ML run, means material ledger run, okay, where the cost is getting computed.
Yep.
So do we have the similar features in SAP B1? Because in manufacturing industries there can be various bombs are involved, various
Yep.
structures are involved.
Yep.
So all those configuration do you have in SAP B1?
So in SAP, you can do cost center accounting, you can do profit center accounting, you can do cost elements, and you can also do project accounting as well. So like we have a few customers, they do different kind of projects, and they do want to do even P&L by the project. So you can do project accounting also, and there is a whole project module as well in SAP B1.
Great. Okay.
So,
Okay, we are running short of time. Yeah, Devjit, you want to ask something else?
No. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the time. Yep.
Okay,
You're welcome.
last question I will take. That is from Mr. Varun. What he's asking is that, sir, to get into the profession of SAP, what should be the process, or something else the finance person should do?
see, first and foremost, people with a finance background are most suitable for SAP. The reason why, if I say, it means anybody can do, but the architecture of SAP is such, I go back to that slide, we see this architecture, everything is there. You see master data on the top, purchasing, invoice, logistic, warehouse, production, purchase. But at the end of the day, the foundation of SAP is a finance. So anybody who has a good finance accounting background and is accounting financial professional, overall they are the best suitable for SAP in general. Now, how to go about it? Basically, we have to learn SAP, and then we launch ourselves into SAP world. If you want to, I already told you, I have a free videos available. I put the entire course on YouTube. People can self-learn. If people wanted to want us to provide, if people wanted to, want us to train them, we can provide that also, because we do training also extensively. So people can do for free. I have online videos. If they want to do a separate training in person, we can do that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. And only last question. I know we are running short of time. Amrinder ji was asking how SAP is beneficial for professional career.
See, it helps in two different ways. One, because most of these large corporations, most of them, if not all, they will be using SAP. Like I keep giving all these names, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and all these MNCs and in Indian companies and overseas companies, and working in different across the world. So first and foremost, they use SAP. So SAP in a way is a tool, like an accounting package. So if you know the tool, so when you go as a finance manager, account manager, or whatever, or financial controller, or whatever different roles, so it helps you leverage your knowledge of SAP to get into that. So that is the first aspect of it. The second aspect is that people can launch themselves as a financial consultant also. So like I was working myself in early 90s in industry, then I decided that I have to go to SAP consulting, then I learned SAP, and then I get into as a SAP consultant. And then of course, I'm doing 24 years now though, but people can launch themselves and they can become SAP consultant, and they can take a SAP consulting career path.
Okay. There are still a lot of questions, but I think you're running short of time, sir. Right? Can we close, or one more question you can take?
I can take few more minutes. That's okay with me. I can take 5 minutes more. That's fine.
Okay. One gentleman, Tahir Makbul, he was asking for a management consultancy industry, is SAP is better or Oracle is better?
See, we have implemented. It all depends upon the requirements. Like we have done implementation in so many different industries. We have done it in manufacturing, non-manufacturing, retail, wholesale. Somebody was talking NGO. We have done in NGO. We have done a lot of service industries. So we have done actually wide variety of different companies. What we can do is we do something called requirement mapping. Requirement mapping is a transparent tool for us in which we see that, okay, you require this process, this process, this process, this process, this process. And then we do the mapping with SAP B1 and say map, match, match, not match. So that way we have a very black and white, very transparent mapping of the solution with the requirement. So mapping the requirement with the solution is the right way to assess the suitability of a product for my business needs.
Okay. Okay. Hello.
Yes, please.
Okay. So what is the overall cost of implementing SAP B1 in India for MSME?
Again, see, it is not in crores. So let me tell you one. So it is much, much lesser than the bigger SAP. That is the first advantage of it. And again, it depends upon, overall scoping, like if you talk about, number of users, size of the company, data elements, training efforts. So this whole thing. But if you talk about the overall project, if I say most of our projects in India, for example, would be somewhere from 5 lakhs to 30 lakhs, somewhere in between that, in that range. Most, some could be bigger, some could be lesser, but most will fall into that spectrum.
And sir, what is the time frame for implementation?
Some could be large, but most of implementation fall around 10 to 12 weeks. Most.
Okay. Somebody is asking, is it applicable for construction industry also?
We have done actually in construction as well. So there is one construction company in Greater Noida. They are using it they are using it actually 7-8 years now. So yes, it can be, but again, everything is what is my company specifically wants.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your patience and answering all the questions. Now I would request Dr. Amrinder ji, the President of Indian Society of Management Accountants, to present a certificate of recognition to Mr. Dilip sir. Mr. Amrinder ji.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much to the speaker of today's session, Mr. Dilip Shah.
Yep,
I deeply appreciate the wonderful presentation you made today on SAP B1 Financial Accounting Module. So in behalf of ISMA and all the participants present here, please accept a certificate of recognition. Thank you so much again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So I hand over to Mr. Pankajan for concluding remark.
Amin Kumar, you can share on screen. Certificate you can share on screen.
I already sharing. I think this is not visible. I think Mr. Shah, if you stop sharing, then it will appear.
दिलीप जी आप अपना जो स्क्रीन शेयर है उसको स्टॉप कर दीजिए.
Correct, I did it.
Yeah. Dr. Amin Kumar, just for the reference of our audience, you can share on screen.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I am. Yeah.
And also thank you everyone. Thank you all the participants. And thank you ISMA and Mr. Rao and Mr. Jain, Dr. Amrinder Kumar and everyone else involved in this session. So thank you very much.
So I think a big round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And in fact, we will encourage the participants because we have planned to organize some series on SAP on different modules. So we will announce the date later on. So, but I will request participants, please we will send you some alert, so join our next program. Thank you so much. Even you can join our Telegram channel also, Telegram group also, so that you have regular update on these webinars. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now I would request Pankaj to give vote of thanks and concluding remarks.
Yeah, so I can understand the Dilip, has some other engagement. So we have already late as per the time committed by him. So we are definitely very, indebted to him. So already President ISMA, Dr. Brend Kumar, our Senior Vice President, CVV Chhatrapati Rao, our Speaker of the Day, Shri Dilip Saad, family professionals, and ladies and gentlemen. So I think the tech is a very important in today's business world. So ISMA is endeavor that how we can bring a new practices, new tech, this knowledge for the benefit of the all finance professionals. So that is the reason we are very, very grateful to Mr. Dilip Saad that he has kindly consented to conduct a series of webinars, because you can understand SAP is not a subject which you can understand just through one or two webinars. So he has kindly consented. We will have now series of webinars where you can understand, and it is not a book of knowledge kind of thing, because you need a very trained instructor to understand the intricacy of the subject. So from that way, we are really very grateful to you, sir. And
No, thank you.
schedule you have
Thank you.
taken your time, and not last and least, but we are also very, very thankful to all our audience, all our participants, despite this is a Sunday holiday, and they have devoted their time to attend this program. So and you know that I have also received requests from many of my professional friends who have requested the video of this program. They are also very keen to see the video, and I'm very sure in our next sessions of webinars, they will attend the program. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So by
Thank
that,
you.
In fact, sorry. In fact, I would like to add, we already posted YouTube channel link of Mr. Dilip Sir and some website address of Kabir Consulting. So that is for your easy reference here.
Thank you.
All participants.
so Mr. Rao, now we can close. We can.
Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Mr. Dilip. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
We are putting the session close. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you.
Welcome.